Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to another fabulous cerule webinar. And today we have the dream team. We have the wonderful Linda Hoggard in New Zealand, the fabulous John Kennedy in New Zealand, and myself, Ian Davies in Australia, and Mark Parseekin in Boston may come on. We'll see if he shows up. And today we're doing a special call about handling objections, because to me, when people understand what we have here, there's no objection, because what we have is phenomenal. It's so beneficial. It just helps people so much. And people have objections. And to me, they're not really objections. They just don't understand the greatness that we have here. And so I'm going to start with the first objection. And some people call me up and say, hey, I did a Google search on your product and this lake is toxic, or the algae is toxic, or there's something poisonous about this. So I'm scared to take it. So let's go to Linda Hoggard in New Zealand. How do you answer that one?
Well, how to answer that one? Quite easily. The first thing I say is there's absolutely no way that there's any of the microcystin toxin in our product, and there's many reasons why. And one of the great things is that we now have a really good video explaining this. So it's called the Harvest video. So when you go onto the cerule website, look for the Harvest video. It's there. It's on YouTube. It's in the Rapid Funnel app. And so for many people now, if they have read this information, I send them that video content because it explains it really, really well, and they get to see visuals of that, because there is an algae that can bloom in that lake from time to time, and it does produce something called microcystin. So Desert Lake Technologies, that harvests and creates the stem enhanced concentrate, has heaps of intervention to make sure that there's no way there's any of it ever turns up into the stem enhanced concentrate. So the founder of Desert Lake Technologies actually developed a separate harvester that lifts the AFA algae out of the water without the other algae. And then when you go to Desert Lake Technologies and you go into their factory, the whole first area you go into, you can't do any photography because there's lots of patented gear there that the engineers at Desert Lake Technologies have actually developed, and some of that's to do with cracking the wall of the algae and concentrating the algae, but there's a big amount of it to do with a process that all the algae goes through to bind anything like that out of the algae. And there's a lot invested in this process, and it's very effective, and the actual design and whole concept behind it is patented by Desert Lake Technologies. And then as you go through, there are areas where they're consistently testing, and I think I'm right in saying that they're testing it down to 0.002 microns for microcystin. So I know when I was last in at the Desert Lake Technologies office and I got to speak to Gita Jensen, she was like, well, no, I've spent my whole life kind of working out how, you know, there won't be any of this in there. There's just none in there. We have all these processes. So that actually led to the production of the Harvest video. So those are the things I talk about. I'll hand it back to you, Ian, for everyone else.
Great. Thank you, Linda. So now let's go to John Kennedy in New Zealand. What's your take on that?
Well, my take on it is that we have to get Linda to ask and answer these questions last, because she fills in with so much detail that we don't have anything else to say.
But how do you say it in your Southern North Island way?
So something that I say when people say they've gone to Google it, I said, so did you actually go and Google and find the research papers on these things, or did you just go and find someone's opinion? And so get them to think about that. Also, the other thing is that if they really think about it, if there was a possibility of any toxin in the product at all, it wouldn't be allowed to be for sale. So, you know, because they have to have gone through screening, evaluations and things like that to make sure that there aren't, you know, that it is a safe product. And absolutely, it's been safe. It's been consumed for decades, you know. Yeah, so just have a think about like that common sense side of it. And of course, send them all off to go and have a look at the Harvest video, which is right there on our front page of our website.
Wonderful. Thank you, John. And I interviewed Tom Valenzuela, who's in charge of the harvest and the whole manufacturing process. And everything is so thoroughly tested before harvesting, during harvesting, after harvesting, during encapsulation. I get the thought that our product is probably 1,000 times more pure than anything that you even buy in the supermarket, because we're just so careful in a outrageously powerful way. And so it's just a non-issue, just doesn't exist. It's one of the most pure products we could ever take into our bodies. So thank you guys for answering those questions. Now the next objection, we go back to Linda, because ladies first. She'll do a great job, but we'll go ladies first. Is some people say, but it costs so much. What about the cost? How can I afford it? So what's your take on that, Linda?
I mean, in some ways, sometimes I go and be cheeky and I go, yeah, I know it's pretty cheap, hey? Because there's many ways to handle this objection. And I think the more you talk with people about this product and this business, the more you get used to doing this, and kind of there's a lot of in the moment, just very much feeling where people are kind of coming from. I certainly... It's a big thing within the Australia, New Zealand culture that if someone doesn't quite understand something and just wants to throw up an objection, it's an objection they'll throw up no matter what their cash flow is like. And that's something to remember. And also, the more that someone values the product and the potential outcome for them, the more that they are likely to, they see the value in it, you know. So it's not just this amount of money, it's these benefits. So I have done a really good training video that's on the Success Team Accelerator YouTube on the sales grid. So some of you might recognize this. And if this is an area where you're having issues, I really recommend to go and watch the sales grid training, because that gives you sales training that helps you then build value and understanding about the product. I think that's probably enough from me. I'm going to pass it over to John so that he's got some input left before I cover everything.
Yeah. And again, it's really that thing that everything's expensive until someone sees the value in it. You know, it's the old thing, you know, it's really expensive to fill up your car with petrol, but if that, you know, $100 that you spend on petrol can take you to work and back for a whole week, where you can earn $1,000 or $1,500 in earnings, you know, that $100 is like cheap in order to fill your tank up. And when people start taking the STEM Enhance, or they start sort of understanding what our products can do for them in the quality of their life with regards to like having more energy, better sleep, their ability to function better in their day-to-day, all of that has a compounding effect in their, you know, their reason of how they can, you know, improve their family life, their work life, actually earn extra income, because they just are feeling better within themselves. And all of that is added value on top of just, you know, feeling better in your own self.
I agree, John. And often someone too doesn't really get the value until they experience it in their life. I was doing some talks recently, and I was working with a lady with multiple sclerosis who's really looked after herself, come into her mid-50s, having a lot of dizziness, balance issues, walking with a stick, and just feeling like she's really kind of going downhill. And I kind of felt for her that 6 STEM Enhance a day would be a really good base. So I talked to her about the Wellness Pack program, and I just asked her to commit to that for at least 6 to 8 months before we kind of readdress the amount. And I was talking to her enroller last week, and she'd been following up with this lady, and this lady already, and in her case it's only a month, which is quite exceptional because sometimes things take a lot longer, but she already is no longer dizzy, doesn't have the vertigo, and is no longer walking with her stick. So, you know, where she was saying, gosh, I wondered how I was going to keep affording these products, she goes, I can't afford to live without them. And suddenly that amount of money just really comes into perspective in her life. And you see that with tradespeople and farmers, etc., who their ability to work is really being reduced. So for them, I often talk to them not about kind of the cost of the product, but like insurance, so that they can actually keep working and that they don't have to retrain. I say, when you're working with someone, you get to see where they're at, and if you follow some of the processes, like in the sales grid, you get sort of better at just being with them and finding out and helping them see the value in their life, what it's worth for them.
Yeah.
And what I sometimes tell people, well, this is a premium product and it's not for everyone, because stem cells are the foundation of life, because stem cells have the potential to renew, restore, and regenerate every cell, every tissue, every organ, and every function. So it's so valuable to help your body have the potential to restore everything. And to me, it's the cost of a cup of coffee and a donut every day, or a couple of cups of coffee and a donut, but you're going to get a whole lot more out of this than any cup of coffee or any donut. And so to me, that's what we do in America. It's a coffee and a donut. It's it's a total bargain. And so to me, this is a really, really cheap product. And in addition to that, I think it costs about $10,000 to get an injection of 25 million stem cells. Well, here we're able to release 4 to 10 million stem cells every time we take 2 capsules. And we can maintain that. So we don't have to go back downhill again. We can keep that regeneration on a daily basis and not have a quick fix with some stem cells. And then you go back to the baseline of stem cells. We can keep the baseline in our bloodstream high, and then we can keep our regeneration high, so we don't have to go downhill again. And so to me, that is a lot easier, a lot cheaper. There's no medical procedures, and they're your own stem cells, and you can keep it ongoing for the rest of your life if you choose it's beneficial to you. And so to me, it's invaluable. Now, the next objection is when people hear, is this all through network marketing? Oh, no, I don't like network marketing. Ugh, it's terrible. So what do you tell Linda? Start with Linda. People who have objections to network marketing.
Yeah, so one thing that I found in my own transition into network marketing is the objection I really had to learn how to handle. And I actually had a patient who had done a lot of network marketing, and she kind of taught me this. She sort of said, well, another term for it really is direct sales. So I often say to people, what do you mean? I call it direct sales. And what I mean by that is that the company, Cerule, that has the proprietary contract to market these products, have decided to sell it directly through the end user through a sales team of distributors like myself. And then what I find that it does is that it gives them a different name, so they get out of all the associations that they have around network marketing, and it actually explains the process. We have a company that has a contract that says they are the only company that can market these products, and they've gone forth and they've built a sales team of distributors or independent business owners, just like all of us on this call, and we earn commission through building our own customers and supporting and building and helping other IBOs become successful. And then it actually explains it, and then often people can be like, well, that's pretty cool. And they have more of an understanding. So that's one way. And what is it that you say, Mr. Kennedy?
Well, I think there's really 2 ways, because like you're talking to 2 different types of people. A, you're going to have a customer, and B, you're going to have someone who's looking at the opportunity that we've got. And if someone's a customer and they go, oh, is that through that network marketing thing or that thing? Yeah, but that's fine. You don't have to have anything to do with that. You can just be a retail customer, or you can be a preferred customer and get it at a cheaper rate, as long as you get it delivered on a monthly order. And so that sort of takes that out there. And that's just like your Costco club cards, where you can walk in and just be a normal customer, or you can get your discount card and you use your discount card. So that's that side of that. So that allows that to happen. But the other thing that the networking does is, I've had a number of patients that have only been able to afford like 1 bottle a month. And I use this for an example, and just showing, the power of what this networking is really about, is that they were able to afford 1 bottle a month, and they were taking 2 capsules a day, and their health started to improve. And then they saw the benefit of that. And then I spoke to them about, oh, look, you're doing well. Look, if you had yourself just a few customers of your own, then you could actually get some product for free. And they sort of like took that on board. They went out and they got some customers of their own. They were able to get more product for themselves, which means they have, you know, an exponential improvement in their own health. And so they were winning on many aspects. And you can't get that effect through a normal retail thing. So that's one of the real powerful things behind the networking, is that we can actually help people to get more product than they can actually afford, you know, in the beginning. And, you know, which is ultimately leading to better health results for them as well.
Great, wonderful. Look, network marketing. I tell people, look, if this product was on the shelf, it doesn't talk, but because it's sold through word of mouth, good news travels far. And when it changes somebody's life, they cannot help but share it. And then the person sharing it can actually make a commission. So I'm so grateful that this isn't sold in health food stores or supermarkets, because I make a commission for sharing the good news. Plus, I can handle objections. I can answer people's questions. I can educate them. They're not going to get that service if it wasn't sold through network marketing. And when it comes to being people involved in the network, I said, look, you can sign up as a distributor in the network, and you can have access to wholesale prices. You never have to tell anyone about it, but you can either be a retail customer and you pay more money, or join as a distributor and you'll get the wholesale price. And that's beneficial all in itself. You never, ever have to be involved in network marketing. But I get so many people, or most of my people, they take the product and they never, ever wanted to be involved in network marketing. They see the benefits from the product. They say, oh my goodness, Ian, I love this. I want to be involved in this network marketing. What do I need to do? And so it is just totally wonderful. Now, with that, other people have an objection. They say, is this a pyramid scheme? So over to you, Linda.
Yeah, so I put this one separately because I actually see it as a separate objection, because I've had people say both things. And when I think about how I answer that here in New Zealand, I would say, well, the first thing is that pyramid schemes are illegal. And the other thing is a pyramid scheme is talking about a scheme where you put money in and there's no end consumer product or service. So hence it, ends up being a scam. And that's absolutely nothing like I'm talking about. I'm talking about, and I'll often go into my direct sales explanation, that I work with a company that markets products through a team of independent business owners like myself, and we earn commissions through building customer bases and helping other people build their own IBO businesses as well. So that's how I look at the difference between them. How about you, John?
Yeah. When someone brings up the pyramid scheme for me, I just say to them that a pyramid scheme is basically where you give me money to get in, and then you find other people to give you money to get in. And when you come into cerule or a viable, proper network marketing business, is that you and I will never have a financial relationship. I buy my product from the company and you will buy your product from the company. And you and I will never have exchange of money. The money that we earn is through the sale of our product. And so, that's pretty sort of simple. And then I just sort of like elaborate a little bit, within that, basically sort of repeating that to make sure that they get that. Because like Linda was saying, is that, when you're giving somebody money to get into something, and then you have to find the people to give you money and them money, then it's just never ending and it'll just collapse. Whereas when we're just selling a product, we won't have a financial relationship between ourselves. It's always between the company.
It's like a real misunderstanding and a knee-jerk reaction that people have. Yeah.
And usually their idea of a pyramid scheme is that, their mother's friend's cousin's auntie got ripped off by some pyramid scheme in the early 90s, when they were rife back then, which is completely different from anything that you see in legitimate network marketing businesses.
That pyramid schemes are illegal, and the way we sell through network marketing or word of mouth marketing couldn't be more respectful or more legal or more fair. People think of a pyramid. Well, are you at the top of the pyramid? Well, look, a bit like politicians. Politicians rule the country, but you get good politicians and bad politicians. And to me, we're with the best in the world, most humanistic and respectful. And so, it really honors people. And to me, all the leaders in our company, we're not on top, we're on the bottom. We're serving humanity here. We're serving all the people. And so to me, this is the most respectful and most wonderful way to do business. And then in addition to that, it's a home-based business. And right now in the world, a lot of people need a home-based business. And to me, not only we offer people hope with our products to help regenerate or help with the foundation of their wellness, but also we're offering people hope with an opportunity for a home-based business as a foundation they can make money from home to support their family during these times in the world. And to me, everything about what we have could not be better and so special. So with now, it's time to start wrapping up. So let's go around to Linda and John one more time to wrap up for any final thoughts. So to you, Linda.
Hi, I'm just reading some of the comments here. Mark Anderson. So, in regards to, I think the first objection around toxicity, if any damage is ever done by it, then surely our stem cells can repair that. Is that right? Yeah, I mean that would be how our body works, but really it's not even relevant because there's none of that happening. And I often say to people, in my history, I've had medically diagnosed mercury and copper poisoning, and if there's anything toxic, I'm like a canary, and this product has done nothing but actually help me get stronger and more able to get on airplanes and deal with ag gas and all those sorts of things. I'm just reading from Jan Latty. There is often a hidden objection behind the upfront stated objection. Need to gently drill down to uncover it. Yeah, and I think that's that thing about kind of asking lots of questions and really spending some time with people, building a relationship and getting to understand where they come from so you can qualify where they're at. Yeah, I see you nodding your head, Jan. Yeah. So yes, good point.
All right, with that, let's pass it over to John Kennedy for any final thoughts.
Yeah, objections are just really questions, just phrased in a sort of more in a negative way. So again, just like Jan was saying that Linda was reading out, was just finding out what those questions really are. Because the objections really are just a question of some information that's not there or something that hasn't aligned with how the person thinks. And it's just a matter of letting them, see that, the products are good, our intention is right, and if these products, trigger an interest in them, then we just show them how to get them, and with them being happy about their questions being answered.
Great. Well, thank you, John. And to me, this is so respectful, helping humanity, because you cannot give what you don't have. It starts with your own wellness. If you're struggling with your own life and your own life force, you can't have the energy to reach out to help your family or those you love or other people in the world. And we have the most foundational products that exist in the world, I believe, to help with wellness. But also financially, you cannot give what you don't have. If you can hardly keep your head above water financially, again, you're struggling just to survive and pay your own bills. And to me, the more you have, the more you can give. And what I love about what we have with cerule, the more you help people, the more money you make. And to me, the more money you make, the more great good you can do in the world. So this is so respectful. And when people understand what we have, there are no objections. So thank you, John. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everyone. And we will be back the same time, same place in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye, everyone.